Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and here's my 6th episode of On the Tube, so I'm going to be talking about the different shows that I've watched over the past week and finished, and we're going to get things started with an Apple TV Plus show that came out last Friday called Home Before Dark, and this is starring Brooklyn Prince as a young girl who is basically a journalist and an investigative reporter, and her family moves back to her father's hometown, and there's a lot of mystery around what happened to one of his friends when they were kids. And overall, I think this is an enjoyable and interesting enough thriller and mystery. And I'll have to admit, I was on my toes trying to figure out what happened and was excited to figure out what did happen to this young kid. I have to say, the performance by Brooklyn Prince is a little much and feels a little stiff and feels a little fake a lot of the times, and it didn't always work for me. But overall, there's some interesting characters. The show has some twists and turns. It is a little bloated, but in general, I think this is an enjoyable show. It's not something that it's like, I encourage you to go out and get Apple TV Plus to go watch Home Before Dark, but if you do have it, I think it's worth your time for a pretty decent mystery. Now, the next show that I watched was the first season of Room 104, which is from the Duplass brothers, and this is an HBO original series, and I'm watching it for the first time, and this is a really intriguing show. And I really appreciate this show in its anthology setup, where each episode is about a particular interaction in the same room of a hotel over the course of decades. Some of them are funny, some of them are just straight weird, some of them connect more than others, but overall, I think the vast majority of them hit. And they're intense, they're mysterious, they're funny, they're heartfelt and emotional. There's some really powerful episodes here as well, and it has a really interesting cast with a lot of different actors, character actors, actors you've probably seen before in TV shows, but I think what the Duplass brothers are able to do here is bring an interesting variety, and you never know what to expect episode to episode, and I think that's one of the most intriguing things about this show. Definitely recommend. Now, being a big WWE fan and a wrestling fan, and my favorite big wrestler being The Big Show, I checked out The Big Show on Netflix. And it seems like Netflix has this new agreement or partnership with WWE, because they also had their film The Main Event come out this weekend, which I'll be talking about as well in a review. But I love The Big Show. Really biased here. I think he's a lot of fun. He's enjoyable. This is a cheesy sitcom. And it's like a Full House level cheesy sitcom, where it's just like things feel so forced and just so staged. But you know what? I think a family might have some fun with this. I had some fun with it. I tried to hold myself back from laughing at some of the horrible dad jokes that Big Show makes in the show. He's really charismatic, and he actually does a good job acting here. And there's a couple of funny lines throughout the 8 episodes. It's actually kind of sad to say. It's like you have a couple of really funny lines. But overall, it's a sitcom. It's what you would expect from your standard fare sitcom. It just has The Big Show. So I enjoyed it on that level. And then I didn't realize this was the season finale last week, so I really should have talked about this last week, but it's Amazing Stories from Apple TV Plus. Now, this is a show that would be a selling point, because this anthology series with these heartfelt, emotional, interesting science fiction fantasy episodes, and like has a great cast. Robert Forster, the episode where he plays a man who finds an old ring from when he was a kid that gives him superpowers, and him trying to connect with his grandson. And there's one episode that feels like it's kind of a remake of Somewhere in Time, and Steven Spielberg produces this, and it has that sentimentality to it from Steven Spielberg films, and I really enjoyed this show a lot. They have a lot of fun episodes. There's 5 episodes of this series so far. There's one particular one that hits really, really hard, about a young woman who's a track athlete who gets hit by a car and is a ghost and trying to connect with her friend. And this show is pretty impressive. It's definitely on that, this is what's worth getting Apple TV Plus for. And then the last show I'm going to talk about is And Music. So I downloaded Quibi, and I've been watching the shows, and I'll plan on reviewing the shows once they're done. But this was very interesting because this is a docuseries with 6 episodes, and they're only a couple minutes apiece, and it doesn't get so deep enough because how short the documentary episodes are, but it gives interesting perspectives on different aspects of music, and if you're a music fan, I think it's cool. You would enjoy it. If you're trying to get sold on downloading Quibi, this isn't going to be one that's going to sell you on it, but I think it's worth checking out if you do download it, especially for the 90-day free trial. And there's a really cool episode with Ozzy Osbourne in it about one of his lyricists, which that was really cool. So I enjoyed that a lot. But overall, there's some really good work here. Definitely go check out, if you've never watched Room 104 like I hadn't, go check it out. And then go check out Amazing Stories. It's a really awesome show if you have Apple TV+. But those are my thoughts. Comment. Let's talk about some of these shows. Let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and always supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.